waking up. This Folgers in your cup.
Good morning, good morning. We talked the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning, it's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. ironrealmmedia is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to Space Lettuce from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Happy Friday, my friend.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up.
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Beautiful information comes from random people on the internet. Cami things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe that dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. What I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. So what? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Oh, TGIF. Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a week. Sure enough. And it's my deepest and most sincere apologies for having missed on Wednesday. That was completely and entirely my fault. I just slept right in. Just slept right in.
Best way to start the new year off, Josh.
No, you're right. It's probably, although to be fair, it was the 31st, not the 1st. It was not the best way to end the year, I guess.
Yeah, end the year.
And I want to give a big shout out to Walter and Michelle. Michelle's mom passed. Was that yesterday or day before? So they've been
Wednesday one.
Yeah, deep in it, trying to deal with all of the repercussions that entails. So I'm not going to say Walter won't be here today, because I think there's at least the off chance, but I am definitely not expecting him. I know his MG has been acting up with all the stress and the lack of sleep and everything else, so I don't really expect him to be here, but just make sure you guys send out lots of love and healing and comforting thoughts and vibes out there to both Walter and Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been rough. They've been at this for a little while now.
Yeah.
Just, long days, long nights. Not a lot of sleep, a lot of stress. Yeah. They need lots of love and healing, guys. So you're back home, huh?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Things have been quiet. Still unseasonably warm around the homestead. Given the fact that it's...
Yeah, we're getting... Right.
I was gonna say it's January and it's maybe freezing outside, but I really don't think so. Because
that's odd.
Yeah, it really is.
What happened to the Farmer's Almanac this year?
Seems to be like they've been wrong
Well,
the past
still-
few years. They've been expecting like really super bad winters, and they just haven't appeared.
Maybe they're figuring out this weather modification thing finally.
Right.
Remember Back to the Future? He's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it just stops downpour raining.
Vaguely.
Where's that? I think that was Back to the Future 3 or something like that. Or 2. No, that was 2 when they went into the future at first. Yeah. 3 was the cowboy one, wasn't it? When they go back to the Old West?
I think so. I think that's right. I've not seen any of them in
It's
a
so
minute.
fun working with all these younger people. They don't know any of the movies from like the 80s, the 90s. You know, they weren't even born yet. But I will give, there's a couple of them, their parents raised them right. They've seen the Goonies. They've seen, you know, Labyrinth. And there's just a few movies out there that every child should see during their childhood. Oh,
I don't think my dad or my mom has or had, respectively, anything like that. I mean, maybe like Sound of Music was something my mom was pretty hell-bent on making sure that her kids watched.
my aunt tried that on us. Didn't work. Now, Chorus Line, on the other hand, bunch of chicks dancing around in little tights and stuff.
Two little boys running around singing tits and ass.
Yeah. That was my favorite song. Oh, Michael Keaton. He flipped out. Him and who's he married to?
I
have no clue. I know they just had like some epic meltdown because their son decided to go on TV and tried to take on Scott Jennings. Yeah, you know how that usually goes. Man, yeah, Scott. You know, just
twisted him up and handed him back.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't get it, man. It reminds me of that song, Thick as a Brick. Like, the way that some people think, I can't understand it. To me, it sounds retarded. Like, there would never be my, logical path that I would choose for the answer or a reason to protest or this or that, or just, there's so many things out there that I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I mean, I understand propaganda and, mind control and how they do all that kind of stuff and get the masses to think certain ways. But is that all it is? Really, is just propaganda that we see?
Certainly feels like it these days.
Because these people aren't retarded. I'm not saying they're retarded people. I'm saying their use of logic has been retarded.
They're products of a public school system.
I know, but so am I. There are a lot of people that don't buy into all the stuff. Yeah, it just baffles me. I can't understand it.
I suppose it is that unanswerable debate of nature versus nurture versus free will. I don't know.
Those young guys were talking about that, about dating this younger generation. Like, there's not many people out there that are appreciative of what they have. I mean, if you live in the United States, you know, you should consider yourself pretty lucky. There's water, there's, you know, food. Planes aren't flying overhead dropping bombs on us.
Daycare for everybody.
Daycare for everybody. We pay the most outrageous daycare cost ever for like 3 kids. It's crazy.
And if you're in Minnesota, there's a daycare for every kid that exists.
Yeah. Did you see them trying to cover up? Going out there on the news saying, oh, they stole all the records for all the children that we watch and for all the employees that we employ.
You mean that little black guy wearing designer glasses? Like $3,000 glasses, that guy? Oh, yeah, sorry. All that shit we need to prove our innocence was just stolen. Somebody just broke in and stole all that shit you need. Sorry. I'm sorry.
We're so sorry. Which makes me wonder, you know, Somalis aren't the only people in the world that commit fraud. How much of this is going on in every state, with every ethnicity, everywhere? This type of fraud. Because I've thought about it. The amount of money that we put in, even if you take out the military budget, like food and housing and electricity and water, this shit should be free. For the amount of money that we put into taxes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I know roads are expensive. I know schools and paying teachers. But when you start breaking down the numbers, there's a lot of money that goes into taxes. A lot. I mean, just the federal government alone, not county, not state taxes, but just the federal government alone takes a lot. There has to be so much fraud. There has to be.
Yup.
Like, I could see it being a legitimate thing. I know Trump says a lot of stuff, you know, but he was talking about people who make under $120,000 a year will not be required to pay taxes. If there is that much fraud out there that's, you know, being done, then yeah, I could see that happening. Wishful thinking, but like it's crazy the amount of money that gets funneled through the U.S. government every year, every day. It's crazy the amount of money.
And it sucks, but that's why I think you just gotta shut it all down and start them up one by one to make sure each one's running the way it should. But damn, it just seemed a little depressing thinking that there's just nothing we'll ever be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just these fucking parasites are just going to keep siphoning off our wages so that they don't have to do shit. And we'll just work and suffer and deal and vote and complain and then wake up and do it all again.
It's like I didn't think it'd still be going. But they are printing. I mean, eventually they're going to have to stop printing money. Eventually they're going to have to. They're going to build every bubble up as big as it can get. Eventually they're going to all start popping.
I mean, they don't have to stop. They just have to stop issuing it. Stop issuing the credit. We'll just downgrade the U.S. credit score and won't lend to them anymore. Or now whatever their interest rate was, we just tripled it. Because now they've got an A rating instead of a AAA rating, or what the fuck ever they're going to decide. But you can only kick this can so far down the road.
Yeah, I think our interest is above was it $1 billion a day now?
That even seems low. It wouldn't surprise me if it were more.
Yeah, because it was up to $1 trillion every 100 days, wasn't it? A while ago.
Something like that. Something stupid.
Ridiculous, ungodly number that you can't even fathom.
Like, even mathematically, we just stopped borrowing now. Said, all right, now all we're going to do is pay you guys back. How long you reckon that'd take? 200-300 years?
And pay us back with what? Our own money?
Right. With the money I just lent you.
Yeah, I think the whole politician thing needs to be revamped.
I have heard
they should all get paid somewhat near minimum wage. And they could fly for free. They could jump on any plane in the country and travel anywhere.
Yep. It'll be minimum wage, but it's tax-free.
Yeah.
We won't charge you a lick of taxes.
And, you know, you get your little congressional house or whatever like that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sorry, don't most congressmen, women, they have other jobs as well? This isn't their only job? Because they work kind of like teachers. They get huge breaks and all kinds of crap.
Yeah, but I still think they just have the one job. They'll make up for it in other places. They'll hold a position on a board that might make them a few $100,000 every year. You know, just a small pittance so you can hold 3 or 4 board positions. And that's not counting all of the insider trading and actionable intelligence that you can gather whilst working in the government that you can pass along to your traders. With a D, not a T, or both.
Those student loan borrowers, the whole repayment thing is changing this year. New types of repayment plans and borrowing caps for advanced degrees.
Is there a borrowing cap for advanced degrees? I would have thought that it'd have been the other way around. I thought somebody would have said, you know what we want is a whole bunch of people with advanced degrees. So what we're going to do is not put a cap on how much you can borrow to get that advanced degree. Seems like it'd be a a better way to encourage advanced degrees would be to not do it that way.
So, and like for people, standard repayment plan, it would set standard or fixed payments for borrowers for a 10 to 25 year period based on their original balance. It would serve as an income-based option for borrowers. It would set payments at 1 to 10% of the borrower's income with a minimum monthly payment of $10 and forgiveness after 30 years. So $10 a year for 30 years that's a good punishment.
Well,
being an idiot,
120.
taking out a huge loan.
It was 120 a year. Was it $10 a month?
Yeah.
So 120 a year times 30 years. So all you got to do is make sure you borrow more than $30,000, $40,000, whatever it be, and then just make so little money that you only have to pay back the $10 a month. I bet you if you could get easy $100,000 worth of student loans and only pay back $30,000 of it after 30 years. That'd be something.
For advanced degrees, you can get up to 20.5 a year or 100,000 over your lifetime. And for professional students, you could get up to $50,000 a year or $200,000 over your lifetime.
And that's the term they actually used? A professional
they're
student.
Revising the definition of a professional program. Which would include 10 programs that would qualify for the higher borrowing cap, including medicine, law, and dentistry. I heard they said that nursing, it leaves out advanced programs like nursing, some of which have tuition that is above the proposed caps. Yeah, they're charging people an arm and a leg to become nurses now. And now they're saying that isn't a profession. They're not professionals.
Really?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, we need nurses. Competent nurses. Nurses that aren't so worried about making that payment and are more worried about getting the right medicine into the patient. Scientists found a yellow brick road at the bottom of the ocean.
Is that
just north of the Hawaiian Islands? Huh.
I wonder where they got the clay to make yellow bricks.
And it's 3,000 meters below the waves.
How long is it? I mean, that's pretty deep.
That's real deep.
I'm not even sure you could verify they were yellow that depth.
And I really can't verify that that isn't a natural formation. It doesn't look like even as oddly stuck together as cobblestone. These don't look like bricks. This looks like a real super flat piece of clay that's cracking or something. I don't know.
That's the first thing I thought of on it was Bimini. Was that Bimini Road? I'm just not sure that's in the same spot, though.
Yeah, they're saying it's a fractured flow of hyaloclastite rock, volcanic rock.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, baked crust. Yeah, that's what I was. It didn't look like bricks to me. Climate tax? What? New state laws in 2026 on wages, SNAP benefits, and climate tax. Dang, Washington State has the highest minimum wage at $17.13 an hour. And multiple states are limiting candy purchases with SNAP benefits. I saw this one lady, she was complaining. She's like, when did they start letting people buy candy and pop with SNAP? Like, she's like, I grew up in the 80s, and we didn't have a fancy little card that looked like everybody else's. We had stamps, like food stamps. Like, everybody standing there knew that you were on food stamps. It was kind of looked down upon to be on food stamps. It wasn't something people were so excited and happy to be getting. And you could get like government cheese, and there were certain items you could buy with SNAP. That was it. You couldn't even go and buy like the good meats and stuff like that, I don't think. There was like certain stuff that you could buy with SNAP back in the day. And that was it.
I think that's the way it should be.
Well, yeah, it was stuff that you needed to survive. Bread, milk, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that. It wasn't meant to go buy $90 worth of Coca-Cola for the week. Yeah, that's crazy. So it looks like Michigan, Hawaii, Nebraska are also boosting their minimum wages. They didn't say how much.
Missouri, too. I mean, it was a scheduled increase, but still, that will be at 15.
So there's several states, just including these three, Indiana, Nebraska, Iowa, are going to be limiting candy and sugary drinks starting yesterday. And then federal SNAP rules will require able-bodied adults to work or participate in job training for at least 80 hours a month to maintain eligibility.
That seems a little unrealistic. So you have to work a part-time job doing job training while trying to find a job?
Yeah, well, I think that's what a lot of the issue is there's a lot of people out there that aren't trying to find jobs at all. In Utah, courts are able to prohibit individuals convicted of driving under the influence from purchasing alcohol.
Big fucking deal.
Restaurants and bars will also be required to check the identification of every customer, regardless of age, before serving or selling alcohol. Isn't that already a thing?
No. Here in Missouri, I think they usually use the... If you're obviously 40 or above.
Yeah. No, I had this one lady, she was here in South Carolina. I don't know if the person was just on a power trip or what, but she was gray, curly haired. It's like, I need to see your ID, ma'am, to sell you cigarettes.
So I know you could probably get in trouble for buying alcohol or cigarettes for a minor. If you tell me that I can't buy booze and I just send somebody else, like, fine, Zack, go get me the 6-pack. I wonder if they can refuse service to anybody, but I just wonder how that's handled.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like, I spent years and years. Matter of fact, most of my heaviest drinking, well, maybe that's not true. I did a whole lot of heavy drinking way before I turned 21 and was able to go in and buy it.
Yeah, my older brother used to be able to buy cigarettes for my mom. Like 10 years old.
Yeah, I used to ride my bike into town just to buy a carton of cigarettes because I wasn't old enough to drive. Walgreens does scan your ID, but a lot of times if you ask them not to, they won't. They're usually pretty good about it. Like, I won't even take it out of my wallet. I'll flash it. Here you go. You're not scanning shit. You enter it manually.
I gotta make another cup of coffee for the road. It's all right though. I'm not like in charge today. I'm gonna be with another team lead.
Oh, well, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Who wants all that responsibility?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if it is where I think it's going to be, I've been there before, I'm going to be sitting in the parking lot all day. Maybe stopping traffic for like 5 minutes so they can pull a wire across the road. I'm pretty sure they did it on New Year's Eve. They worked at night. They had an outage. A lot of times, they don't want the businesses to have no power during the day. So they have to wait till like 6 o'clock when a business closes to start. And that's what was going on. You want to go potty? You want to try again? Come on, let's go do some business. Hank's like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to hang out on the bed. Oh, I knew you couldn't read that. It's wild that he's almost 13 years old now.
That is wild.
And he still gets around good. He might be a skinwalker. I told him, if you are, it's cool, dude. If you want to live here till you're 50, I'll just keep telling everybody you're 12 forever.
Forever. Your secret is safe with me.
Yeah, we'll just keep moving every couple of years. We'll move. Nobody will find out.
Just Zack and Hank walking down a lonely road with a thumb out.
I'm 85 years old.
Incredible Hulk style.
Oh. How's everybody out there in chat doing? I'm sorry. Walt is usually the one watching chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chat the gang. Hope you all had a good January 1st or whatever you want to call it. New Year's, if that's your new year. Even when I was young, I always thought that was weird. It's like, why are you calling it the New Year when it's like the dead-ass middle of winter?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's growing. There's nothing new about it. Much love out there, Brad. We need to find a shooting game again.
Yeah, we do.
It's been a while since we played. Happy New Year, Regina.
I'd planned to start that one, Battlefield, because it looks fun. And since my son's controller died several months ago, he came and reclaimed mine. So I've not even had a controller to play with until, well, maybe about 6 weeks or so ago. I thought, I'm going to play Battlefield, so I'm going to order me a new controller. And I did. And it's still sitting on the kitchen table.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting that Battlefield. It looks actually pretty awesome.
It does.
I hear the Call of Duty sucks.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
I heard the last one sucked. Black Ops 6. Like, they tried turning it into like that Max Payne game from back in the day where you can shoot while you're jumping sideways. And yeah, they're trying to turn it into like Fortnite or something where the movement is not realistic at all. I mean, that was one of the things that was a big draw in Call of Duty. Back in the day, at least, was the realisticness of it. You know, we could go play Unreal Tournament and jump 50 feet and, you know, jump off buildings and survive, be fine. Yeah, that was fun. But if you wanted to play something that was kind of realistic, you know, you couldn't go jump off a building because you would die. Things like that. It just made it's a different type of gameplay. It's not just run and gun. You had to actually think and use corners and, you know, use the map, not just jump over the map whenever you wanted to.
Well,
yeah, it seems like everybody's trying to get rid of, you know, using tactical logic. Just run and gun, just run and shoot. That's all they want people to do.
I think that that's not necessarily the case. I think those more realistic games are becoming even more realistic, but they are basically slotted in a specific niche in and of itself. So if you want to play a mill sim game, it's definitely not going to be the same as playing like a Fortnite, like a run and gun. Because that mill sim is going to actually be tactical and it's going to have that realism.
Yeah, that's what Call of Duty used to be.
Even then, it was close, but it's still basically a lot of just running and gunning.
Yeah, true. A lot of people played it that way.
Like it wasn't even really designed for tacticians. You know, you can get a little bit, maybe a little bit of the psychology, looking for where people are going to be camping or respawning or whatever, but for the most part, it's not a whole lot different than Fortnite. As opposed to something like, I don't know, they've got like big, full-scale, days-long battles, like where you have to fight an entire war and you have people that are only specialized in like real fucking military. So you have
there's
specialties.
Quite a few of those games out there.
And you might spend most of that game doing nothing because your specialty isn't required, so you're just playing support roles, not doing much.
You're a radio guy that just stands there next to the colonel who just stands there. Yeah, they have a Vietnam one like that, a World War II one I've seen like that.
I've seen Civil War, like the North and the South.
That'd be pretty wild. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Those are those games where they have like long wait times though to load up and this and that. And I had a buddy who played a game kind of like that, and he'd have to wake up at like 2:30 in the morning to do a volley set at a certain time. And like Yeah, they were like crazy about it, spending like hundreds of dollars a day. It was one of those pay to win type things. So they just buy 20,000 more archers or whatever. And yeah. And it was all about being the biggest clan on the, and I think it was even a phone game, maybe. But $100 a day he was spending. And it was required to be a part of that team. You had to spend $20 a day minimum. Something like that. Just ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
But I guess that makes some people feel good seeing their name or their team's name up on the leaderboard or blah, 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 whatever. That never did it for me. No, I learned to be a good winner when I was young. I learned to play with my cousin a lot, who I used to beat at video games like religiously every time we played. And he was a bad loser. So I learned how to be a good winner. Yeah, there was one Bill Walsh college football for Sega Genesis. We played that game for like 2 years and he never beat me. Like 2 years religiously. Like every week, at least for sure. Hundreds of games. One time he was beating me with like 30 seconds to go and I scored 2 touchdowns. In like 30 seconds. Oh, he was so mad. Those old Vidya games. Oh, I gotta get dressed. Beard from Andrew B lately? Josh? Uh-oh. Did I lose Josh? I don't know, folks. Joshua.
Sorry, I had to go get a chillum, and I thought it would be just as easy as step outside of the room, grab it off the file cabinet, and step back in. Should take about 7 seconds grand total. Except my chillum wasn't there.
Oh.
So yeah, now it turned into a whole big fucking thing about me not being here. Sorry, what were you saying before I so rudely abandoned you?
No, I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, I was saying I got to get dressed for work.
Oh.
Yeah. I can do that with the headphones in.
Well, I'm sure I can find
most of it.
Finally got the bubbler for my vape.
Nice.
The big bubbler definitely works much better.
Yeah. It is already 37 degrees.
Yeah, it's 33 here. And that's
crazy.
Mm-hmm. Only going to get warmer. That boggles my mind.
They're talking a low of like 50 coming up here next week sometime.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm still not used to the winters down here. This is like my 5th one. But I'm still not... It gets warmer earlier, so much earlier here than it does up north. Like they can start planting like 2 months before you can up north.
It's because of the tilt of the earth, you see.
Oh, is that what it is? Don't you know?
Don't you know? Because it's all about the angle. That's why at sunrise and sunset, it's almost freezing every day. But at noon, it's like boiling hot because of the angle of the light, you see. That's what affects the weather, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach all these young kids. I don't come out and just tell them the earth is flat. Because I know, I've been like this for a while. The reactions you get and all that kind of stuff. But I always tell them that this place isn't what we've been told. Like, just use your God-given senses. Look around. Check on some of the stuff you've been taught. Some of the stuff you just take for granted, I was like, I don't know what this place is. One of the young guys was like, think it might be a simulation or something? I don't know. Maybe. But they're thinking. And I've been told that the earth is flat by multiple people at this job. Multiple people have come up and told me that the earth is flat. Yep, I know. Funny enough, both ex-military.
Funny how that works.
Uh-huh. Older, around our age. And some of these young people I have hope for, and some of them, it's like, yeah, you wouldn't have lived through the 80s. You wouldn't have made it.
I think they all would have made it. Well, probably not all. We were pretty harsh. But most of them would just straighten their shit up.
Yeah, you wouldn't be this way. That's for sure.
Yeah, we beat that out of you by like second grade.
Mm-hmm. Handle that shit out on the playground. That's what recess is for.
But it also kind of comes back to the food stamps. There's a whole lot to be said for that public shaming and the difference between an EBT card that you can just swipe without anybody seeing how it is you're paying versus having to bust out a handful of paper coupons, paper stamps to try to get that stuff paid for. Yeah. People are going to be considerably less inclined to want to bust out the big pile of paper stamps to try to pay for their food while everybody waits and looks.
When you look different, than everybody else.
But even that in and of itself will, I can only imagine that there are people out there that would get so tired of being embarrassed that they just say, well, fuck it, I guess I want to try to start paying for cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shame does work.
Surely does. What's up, Sherry? I didn't see what was the cause of the fire or anything, but I can see how a bunch of people with champagne and sparklers, all drunk, might be a fire hazard.
And something about an explosion. I don't think it was just a fire. I heard something about an explosion. That's what caught my attention because I was thinking like somebody set off a bomb or something. That's the way the article was laid out, kind of. There was no mention of a fire in the headline, just an explosion. And I was like, oh, shit. What happened? What blew up? Then I got into the article a little bit, and it just talked about the fire and didn't mention anything exploding. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, 40 people and over 100 injured. Where was that, Switzerland? ski resort or something like that.
So I just watched a movie, and I highly recommend it. There was what I thought to be several hidden truths in there. Just really interesting the way that they did it. It was a recent movie. It was Leonardo DiCaprio. It was One Battle After Another.
Well, I was going to watch that. Is it good?
Do it. It was okay. It wasn't like a super great movie, but there's a lot of stuff in there that if you're paying attention, you're like, oh, okay. Like, so that's probably what the Las Vegas shooting, okay. Oh, okay. This is making sense. I can see how this might be reflected in reality. And just some of the stuff they had going on. I thought it was worth a watch.
Check that out. Yeah, I like Leo. Leo. I got Leo. Ricky Gervais making fun of him. The one movie was so long. What movie? Something about a story in Hollywood. I forget the name of it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think that's right.
It was like over 3 hours long. He's like, geez. By the time they got to the end of the movie, Leo's date was already too old for him. He does have a thing for those younger, like 23-year-olds.
Well, I think his is 19, like way young from the last one. I think 25 is just the max. He just won't go any older than 25. But I think 19 was what I saw recently.
Jeez, Leo. About robbing the cradle. He could be her grandfather.
Good on you. I say go for it.
He's going to be like Ramses and have 100 and something kids. I can't wait till I can just get up and throw on the pants and a shirt and walk out the door. Not have to getting ready for war, putting on all this armor and latching shit down, tucking stuff in. And I love my job though. I feel productive, even though I don't do much. Every day I get home and hit that little switch on the wall and it works. Yep, my job's done. I helped. Only one ER call. New Year's Eve.
Really?
Someone hit a pole further south though. They were down in like near Clemson area. But no, everybody was somewhat good drivers for the most part, I guess. Yeah, I was assuming we'd be out there doing something for sure.
Looks like the Chinese are trying to blow themselves up again. By
Chinese
lighting matches on the ISS.
No, you just stay back. Be right back, Bubba. Those wacky Chinese.
Like, I don't know. I'm not an astronaut, but I think I'd be scared shitless to just strike a match.
Bunch of oxygen.
I mean, I would say there's a it's a reasonable request to not go smoking in the hospital room. Beyond for health reasons, but for safety and the compressed oxygen. That, yeah, it just might blow the fuck up.
Morning, Henry.
Nuts. Oh, yeah. What in the world else is going on?
What else is going on?
Looks like they're still out there trying to find the Malaysian Airlines MH370. Still.
Really?
Yeah, after 11 years of having disappeared, they're still, or back, trying to find it.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, when do they just say, okay, we don't know where it is. It'll turn up when it turns up. But I mean, actively spending money to try to find this thing, I don't think you're going to find any survivors on it. I'm just saying. You know, there's no need for the rush or anything like that.
And apparently there was an explosion at the New Year's Eve potato drop there in Idaho. Dang, that was a big explosion too. Oh, looks like a pyrotechnic malfunction.
Crazy pyros.
Damn. That was like blocks away and it blew out windows.
Wow, it was a big one.
That's nuts.
I'll let Hank out one more time before I take off. Wait a minute, I keep unhooking my headset. All right, Bonehead. Shit, I can't lose my house keys. Gotta go potty? No, you're not going out front. You're not going for a ride, Bubba. You know I'm going. Yeah, he still acts like a puppy, dude. It's crazy. Runs and jumps and hops like a deer sometimes. No, don't go by the truck. You stay back here. And Hank doesn't. Oh, dude. So I'm heading back to the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I see them. I get stopped at a stoplight, and there's a couple cars in front of me. I see this little squirrel run across the road. Busy intersection, too. And I was like, dang, there must be something important over there. So I see it, and then this other squirrel comes down the tree that was across the road. They're on the opposite sides of the fence. It looked like they said something to each other, and she went inside the fence and hopped up on a tree. That squirrel went to town on her. Right there in front of God and everybody. Busy intersection. I'm just sitting there parked like, holy shit, this is definitely a first for me. Yeah, you think the tail would go up? Nope, tail goes off to the side. Yeah, something I'll never forget, though. I was going to rip out my video camera and start recording it.
Oh, that'd have been worth watching.
Damn. Yeah. I was like, how often do you see something like that? But that, I was in the work truck, and that thing knows if I'm thinking about getting a drink or picking up my phone. It's crazy, dude. Like, as soon as I touch my phone and lift it up, distracted driver, put your phone down. It tells me. But I learned if you go 1 mile an hour under the speed limit, it continually adds points to your score. You can get a score of 100. And then you go over the speed limit, it takes points away. You go under, it adds it. Come on, let's go. You know, you come to a complete stop at a stop sign, it adds points. You roll through it, it takes points away. And it's not just a complete stop, because that's horseshit. Because it was giving me rolling stops. The truck was stopped. The little thing said 0. But my manager told me, he's like, the best thing what I do, and it finally stopped doing it to me, is I count to 4. I wait till I see that 0, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go. And I've been doing that. I haven't been being yet. Oh, man.
I know that's right.
And I hate working in Greenville. Greenville's all right. It ain't a bad place to work. It's just driving home on the interstate. If I don't take the interstate, it's like an hour ride. In the morning, it's only a half-hour ride on the interstate there. Home, close to an hour home. Yeah, it doesn't seem they have the infrastructure built up around here for all the people that are moving in. There's been such a huge influx of people here over the last 5 years. I know, I'm one of them.
Well, we got some bad news. It would appear that Earth is 82% through its lifespan.
Oh, man. Already?
Already. Yep. This according to, MSN.com. Earth's distant future has always been framed as a slow fade, billions of years from now, but a new generation of models is painting a sharper and more unsettling picture. Instead of a gentle decline, scientists now argue that the planet's habitable window could slam shut far earlier than the sun's own demise, leaving a complex life with surprisingly tight deadline. Several recent studies converge on the stark idea that Earth may already be roughly 82% of the way through its life-friendly phase, with the final chapters defined not by human-made catastrophe, but by the physics of a brightening star and a suffocating atmosphere. The numbers are vast.
Same people that said New York could be underwater by 2020.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, I was just confirming that. Please continue.
The numbers are vast on a human scale, yet the message is immediate, because what happens in the next few centuries will determine how much of that remaining time any civilization actually gets to use. When researchers say Earth is about 82% through its habitable lifespan, they are not guessing. they are running climate and stellar evolution models that track how the sun's output changes and how the atmosphere responds. The core idea is simple. As the sun slowly brightens, the planet absorbs more energy. Water vapor builds up, and the climate system eventually crosses thresholds that complex organisms cannot survive. In this framework, the clock is not counting down to the sun's death, but to the point where surface conditions no longer support a rich biosphere. One influential line of work looks at how long the planet like Earth can keep liquid water and a stable climate before runaway heating and atmospheric loss take over. In that research, go away. Scientists applied a single model to Earth and 8 other worlds, estimating how long each could sustain surface water, and concluded that our planet's total habitable span is finite and quantifiable. When those spans are compared to Earth's current age, the result is what we already deep in is that we are already deep into the usable portion of the biosphere's life, with only a fraction left before the physics of a hotter star take over. Yeah.
So another star is going to take over?
Well, let's see. What has grabbed public attention recently is not just the idea of a finite window, but the claim the scientists and a supercomputer have now named a specific year when life on this planet ends. In one widely discussed study, researchers fed climate, stellar, and atmospheric data into a high-powered model and projected forward until the system crossed the line where oxygen-based life can no longer function. The result was a precise calendar year, a level of specificity that turns an abstract future into something that feels almost scheduled. And according to these findings, life on this planet is expected to end in the year 1,000,000,2021. Yes.
Is that a Gregorian calendar? Okay.
As apparently researchers can describe as roughly 1 billion years from now. A separate report on a similar modeling effort notes that a supercomputer was used to name the exact year when life on Earth will end. A result summarized coverage by Jessica McBride. The headline-grabbing precision does not mean that the models are infallible. No shit. But it does underline how far scientists have pushed the math of planetary habitability and how narrow the remaining window looks when you set it against the full age of the planet. My God, this thing just goes and goes and goes and goes there. All right. Last paragraph is that is why studies that predict the exact date life on Earth will end often begin with a broader motivation, such as improving models of planetary atmospheres or testing how different types of stars affect habitability. One such study covered in detail I don't know what the hell this sentence is supposed to mean. But anyway, the reporting explicitly states that the goal is to understand how long oxygen-rich atmospheres can last on both on Earth and on exoplanets. Another segment of the same coverage notes that the work was published by the Journal of Astrobiology, underscoring that these questions are central to the search for life beyond our solar system. In that context, Earth's 82% mark is both a warning and a benchmark, a data point in a much larger effort to map where and when life can exist in the universe. That's a whole lot of story for fucking nothing.
Yeah, it is.
And maybe I missed a comma there. Maybe that was not year 1 million, but 1 billion. I don't know.
Yeah, billion's a good round number.
And at the end of the day, is there that big of a difference?
No. Considering it's all bullshit.
Uh-huh. Oh, here's one. From BBC. This is an interesting article. I can only imagine the direction. But the headline says, "You're invisible. You don't exist." Life without a birth certificate. Apparently there's a fellow named Arnold Incube who was not able to finish his Incube. Capital N C-U-B-E. Incube. And that might be a common name, something that Nkulaleku Duma might recognize, but Arnold Incube. Many people take their birth certificate or similar official papers for granted, hidden in a drawer and rarely seeing the light of day. But for those without one, it can lead to a shadow life or an uncertain existence. Isn't that scary? Shadow life. Uncertain existence because of lack of official papers. This is thought to affect millions of people around the world, described as stateless. And 25-year-old South African Arnold Incube, and maybe that's not how that's pronounced at all, but that's sure phonetically what it looks like to me, is one of those. Because he has no state-issued documents. Washing cars in the back streets of Thembiza Township near Johannesburg is one of the few ways he can make a living. He was born in Johannesburg, and his father is South African, qualifying for citizenship here. But when he tried to register for secondary school, he realized he didn't have a birth certificate. Having been abandoned by his parents, his dad left before he was born, and his mom when he was 14, he could not prove his status. It's a painful thing, he says. You're basically invisible. You don't exist. It's like you're living in the shadows. You don't have a bank account, check. You can't apply for a decent job that can earn you a living with 4. He adds that he tries to stay positive, but it's been challenging. When I see my peers and they are done with school now, whereas I couldn't study further, it's a lot. Depression was once my friend. Arnold is one of at least an estimated 10,000 stateless people living in South Africa who, despite being born here, are struggling to prove their nationality and access public services. There are no official statistics available on stateless people here because they tend to slip through the cracks. So figures are based on estimations by organizations like the UN's Refugee Agency and UNHCR and civil rights organizations. But with no citizenship, stateless people cannot get documents and struggle to get access to basic necessities, including education and healthcare. Oh, it's just life is so rough. See how much easier life will be once you just accept that you are that birth certificate? If you could just walk in and say, yep, when you call this name out on this birth certificate, that's what I'm going to raise my hand and answer to. Yep, that's me. And then your life is just hard and miserable. So it's better just to go ahead and accept that your natural person is superseded by your artificial person. And it's the artificial person that runs the life and rules the day. And go to bbcafrica.com for more news from the African continent. Nonsense. Nonsense, I say. Yep. Jax, you're right. BBC nonsense.
And the BBC is crazy, dude. Like, that's what do they call that when you strong arm? I mean, they're pretty much like a mafia. If you own a television, you have to, even if you don't watch our channel, you still have to pay us. What kind of shit is that?
really does make you wonder how they tax live television. And people are just like, okay, you're right. I better have permission if I want to watch TV live. I need the Crown's permission, get my permit, be properly licensed to look at stuff.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. You have to have a license to watch a television.
And it's probably like for all sorts of stuff now, would be my guess. Like, you know who's got a pretty wide selection of live viewership is YouTube. I wonder if now all of the internet would fall under that TV license. Or is it only broadcast airwaves?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because BBC does have all kinds of YouTube stuff too.
Uh-huh. I mean, shit. Everybody has all sorts of live television stuff. Like, I don't think it's just the BBC that they're taxing. I think it's all live television. If you could prove to them that you only have like a VCR and you're just watching old pre-recorded stuff and old blockbuster movies, I think you can get away without even needing a license, and they're not going to hassle you. But if you have a television with an antenna or with cable or with the internet, I think is when they're going to come down with a licensing hammer and make sure you have the proper permission to look at things.
Remember TVs that came with a built-in antenna?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that new Running Man movie, that's one of the things that's a big draw. He's got a bunch of the old tube TVs, this one guy. And he asked him, he's like, do people actually buy these old dinosaurs? He's like, can't keep them on the shelves. These TVs don't watch you back. Like, yeah, that is a pretty good point.
Uh-huh. There is a lot to be said for that.
As far as you know, they're not watching you back. I bet they're listening, though.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What was it, 1994? The head of the NSA came out and said your toaster, your microwave, your refrigerator, all have your television, all have ambient background microphone devices. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But information is a very, precious commodity that people will pay a lot of money for information. And it's gotten so crazy now that they'll pay you like crazy money for like the most obtuse type of information. Like what you're planning on buying next type stuff. What you've been thinking about and this and that and yada, yada, yada. You know how much information has to be stored out there that will never be accessed, ever? Like, once you die, your file, they can just erase it, but 99.9% of the people out there, their files never get accessed. Just seems like a waste, doesn't it?
I mean, I would think that they're at least including that information. While there might not be some simple human accessing a dead guy's purchase and browsing history from 30 years ago, I can see how that information might be included in like the larger algorithm. So now I've got this full data set I don't have to worry about what might be or what sort of changes in personality are going to come forward because this person's life is already done. So now I can look at all of his decisions and how they affected it from the time he was born to the time he died and track his calorie intake or, you know, what the fuck ever sort of internet ad he stayed 2.5 seconds on longer than all the other ads, so we know what he was paying attention to and all that information. I mean, that does provide a pretty complete data set. So if you have someone else whose life is mirroring this other one, you can now have a better predictive model because you know how that ends. And I think it's the predictive models that they're really after.
Think they're looking for the next Jesus?
I mean, some would say that there are people politically that is part of how they make their decisions. Like an accelerationist type mentality where, well, there's no way we're going to save it now, so we might as well just hurry up and get to the end. Let's just fast forward and accelerate. And yeah, whether it's for trying to specifically fulfill these biblical check marks that are going to herald in the Antichrist, like just hurry up and get the temple built, and then we'll see what happens.
Find our red heifer.
Well, they find lots of red heifers. Seems like they're burning a red heifer every few years, and they just mix it in with the ashes. It's basically, they say they have the ashes of the first red heifer.
There's going to be a perfect red heifer where it doesn't have any other color hair except for that color and this and that and blah. There's like a bunch of little things that it's got to check to be the red heifer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
This place and the people here, I can't quite put my finger on it, man. I can't put my finger on it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I was telling the young guys at work, I had never seen The Usual Suspects. They were talking about movies with a twist. I was like, oh, you got to see The Usual Suspects then. That's probably one of the best gotchas I've ever come across in movie cinema. Can you think of a better one where you were just like, no way?
I mean, historically, finding out the paternity of Luke Skywalker was pretty big.
Yeah, that was a big twist.
And even Princess Leia being his sister that he made out with.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Seems like there's at least a few more. But The Usual Suspects is definitely high up on that list.
Yeah, and they wait till the very end, too. Mm-hmm. Like, they tie it all up with a nice bow. Keaton is Kaiser Soze, blah, 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 blah. And then he starts looking at that board. and seeing all the Skokie, Illinois barbershop quartet, orca size guy, and he's finding all this shit right there. He realizes he just made all this shit up. Like on the spot.
Yeah, Justin, that was a good one too. Bruce Willis was actually dead the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's a really good one too. Yeah. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan has some twists. That's for sure.
Yeah. That is a good one. No, it was present day and they were just in this conservation area the whole time.
Oh, what are you talking about? Handmaid's Tale?
No, that was The Village.
Or The Village, yeah. Yeah, I never saw that one.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think you'd like it too, because it really gets into the power of the brainwashing and the conditioning, the mind conditioning.
Plato's Cave.
How you, yep, exactly how to try to control a population. And the best way to manage said population by controlling it through fear and through stories.
When there's something like beast out in the woods that if you traveled out into the woods, they'd get you.
Yep.
That's how they kept everybody there, yeah. You ever see that movie Ember?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I read the book first. And it was like scientists believed the world was going to end. So they took a bunch of infants and built a city underground inside of a cave. And taught these infants that this was all that there was. If you go out into the deep, dark parts of the cave, you'll get lost forever and die. So you had to stay underneath the lights. And like they gave them this time capsule box that was supposed to open after so long, and they were supposed to go back up to the surface. Well, the mayor that had the time capsule box, when it opened, had been senile, and the box was lost for a long time until this young guy finds it, figures it out. Like, hey, we're not supposed to be here anymore. We were supposed to leave this place like 50 years ago because they're starting to run out of food and all kinds of stuff. And the power's starting to go out. It was never built to last that long. Yeah, it was an interesting story, though. Kind of a Plato's Cave type of thing. And none of the people alive, you know, all the adults that were taking care of them at first were all sworn to secrecy. So they all played along kind of like Santa Claus, that this is all there is and we can't leave here. And yeah. This is a children's book. But yeah, that whole Plato's Cave type of story. Oh, I hope Walter's doing all right. Everybody send some extra love out that way. Right now, let's see if we can give them a boost.
Yeah, they're probably sleeping. Hopefully, they will have crashed from the stress of it all, but it's probably not going to be a very restful sleep. But with that tagging along in the back of their mind of what they're going to have to wake up to.
Yeah, I think today they were having something done, weren't they?
I think.
This morning. Yeah, just send lots of love. They could definitely use it.
And again, we still have another 30 minutes left of the show. I still allow for Walter to pop in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He even said it there in the text message. You know, he's going to need some therapy.
Yeah.
So if he can get through the MG and the exhausted nature of what he's been going through lately, I know he would like to be here. That said, if he's not, it's because he's sleeping. So that's probably a good thing too.
Oh, it is nice though, driving the work truck and being like the newest guy doing it, because I get all the easy jobs. I think I've flagged one time the last 2 weeks. Everything else has been off-road. Or they take up so much of the road, we have to just shut it down completely. Which they don't like us doing that. Like, they don't even give us road close signs because they don't want us closing off roads.
That makes sense. That turns into a big deal. You have to redirect an entire road worth of traffic into other roads of traffic.
Yeah, like Greenville, in the city of Greenville, like Spartanburg, we have to do it sometimes, especially downtown. There'll be one-way roads, stuff like that. That's just enough to get one vehicle through. And they'll have what we call a vault, a big, giant underground room that they do all the electricity stuff under. Well, they have to get into those vaults and work on them sometimes, and you can't have cars driving over an open manhole. So we have to shut that road down. Well, in Spartanburg, it's not so much of a big deal. You know, they don't get upset really. Now, Greenville will come in, shut down your whole job site. Like, you have to have permission from the city before you even think about shutting down a road, even for 10 minutes. You have to have permission. So it's different from place to place. Like in a subdivision, yeah, no big deal. You have to shut down a road and maybe only let people that live there get into their houses or something like that. Just a section of the road you'll have to shut off, and everybody else has to go around. We had to do that yesterday or the day before. But yeah, people are always so upset with us. And I get it, you know, we're not always there. We're there right now, and it annoys you. We slowed you down from doing what you wanted to do.
It's an inconvenience.
I get it.
Wah.
Yeah, it is. We are an inconvenience. I understand that.
Wah.
But at the same time, it's not like we're doing it to play a game or have a parade or, you know, we're out there doing something that everybody enjoys and uses, except for the Amish, maybe. You know, and we don't want to be out there just as much as you don't want us to be out there in your way, slowing you down. We don't want to be out. I don't get a big head because I have a stop paddle. I don't stop you an extra 20 seconds because I can. You know, there's nothing like that going on. I've never seen anybody do that I've worked with. Everybody pretty much takes it pretty seriously. We try to get people through as quickly as possible. But people act like we're singling them out, like they're the main character in the movie, and we're just messing up the movie. Yes. I mean, some of these poles are from the 60s, people. They're going to have to be replaced or they're just going to fall apart. Like, it's, you know, it's a never-ending job. And just be happy you only see one of us that day. Because I guarantee you, there's probably 80 sites just like this in these 2 counties, just like this, stopping people, letting them, 80. I had no idea there was that much shit going on. Like, I'd pass a road crew every once in a, maybe once a week. You'll pass the power line guys or something like that. And most of the time they'd be off the road or something, and you wouldn't even have to slow down. But there's a lot of them out there every single day doing stuff. Yeah, I like it though. I don't think I'd like it so much up in Indiana.
Especially right
But
about
South
now.
Carolina's, yeah, right about now, I'd definitely not be enjoying working in Indiana for the next couple months. But no, you find a place that's got good weather, I bet Denver would be a great place to do traffic control. Over 300 days of sunshine a year, barely rains. Yeah, and it's like a dry cold. It doesn't bite you nearly as bad. So I guess Jaron got something. The water's smelling kind of earthy, like algae. Spartanburg said it's okay. It's safe to drink. It just might taste a little funny. Algae? Are you supposed to be drinking water with algae in it?
I mean, I wouldn't
I'm
think.
sure there's different. Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. Anything that smells like a fish tank? No, I probably wouldn't want to be drinking that water.
I'm just wondering, was there any explanation given?
They just said we have a high concentration of algae at this time. It's still safe to drink, and we're working on it. But that's what the smell is. Yeah, it's just crazy to me.
So it's coming in post-treatment?
Yeah.
Now that's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get a high concentration of algae in treated water?
I know you would figure the chlorine and all the shit they put in there, the fluoride and all that stuff would kill anything that was alive.
I mean, even just the chloramines, maybe you're not putting fluoride in there anymore. These days, we can no longer just assume for certain that people are putting fluoride in their public water.
Very true.
Score one victory for the truthers.
That only took like how many decades? Get people to wake up to that. No, it's good for your teeth. But
like, yeah, that'd make me real nervous. I don't know.
I told him to break out the Berkey water filter and to don't give any of that stuff to Minion. Either give him Berkey water or give him some bottled water or something. But yeah, I wouldn't give that to him either.
And you still got to shower in it? And you still have to shower in it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of chemically hot water. I've heard of water, sewage backed up or whatever. You have to boil this and that.
Uh-huh.
I can't recall algae. That seems like something they should be able to, keep a lid on pretty good. like algae content in the water. That's something that we can control with chemicals.
That's why we add the chemicals. But one of the main reasons for like all those chloramines is specifically for things like algae in the water. It's going to kill off all them little critters and growers and shit like that. That way we're not getting passed along. That's why it's boggling my mind if it's treated and then it picks up all this algae. Because I can't imagine it's getting like just untreated water is just got so much algae in it that they just can't seem to add enough chlorine to it to kill off all the algae when they treat it. So it's maybe that's the case. Maybe they just can't adjust their ratios anymore, and there's just not enough chloramines to kill off all the algae. So we killed
American Airlines
most of it.
Went under.
Really?
If the article was real, yeah, they're like done. Not, redoing things, bankruptcy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I meant to share that article. Pretty sure it was American too, American Airlines. And some company, who was it? Was it GM maybe? Just laid off a whole bunch of people the day after Christmas.
Ouch.
Yeah. Like that's something you might want to know before you do all your Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Where you go spending your Christmas bonus and all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, yeah, by the way, you're not going to have a job here in a couple weeks. And one guy said it was kind of out of the blue. Like they got, we're going to have to just lay you off here for a little bit. And then 2 weeks later got oh, nope, you're just fired. We're going to have to let you go. Your position's no longer needed.
That's what happens when the government tries to mandate people buy electric vehicles. Car companies say, well, sweet. That's just, job security right there. Till it's not.
Till it's not. Oh, I am here. Man, I'm still not used to using this backup camera yet. Still not used to it yet. Like the going backwards is no problem. It's the lining it up that gets me.
Yeah, steering is the tricky part. Doesn't take much to just go backwards.
No, and I'm good at the steering part when I'm using, my mirrors and my eyes, but this camera is just a little different. I gotta check in. It might disconnect me for a second here.
All right. We'll be here.
Be getting out of the vehicle.
We're down to the last 15 minutes.
Assets, forms. Yeah, I got to do my vehicle inspection right quick. Just take me a sec.
All right. Kick the tires, check the dipstick, all that fun stuff. Make sure the blinker fluid's full.
Get the odometer. It's crazy, dude. When I go to fill up gas, I got to punch in the odometer after I put in the credit card. Because what's the odometer reading on the pump? You ever heard of that?
What's the odometer reading on the pump? No.
Huh?
Have I heard of there being an odometer reading on the pump?
Mhm.
You might be cutting out just a little bit.
Get oil. Now, how does a truck know how much engine life oil has?
Well, I think it just depends on how it is. They track the time. Like if it's done through mileage. And the computer, because you probably got a few of them in there, realized that, well, the last oil change was done at 75,000 miles. So we know that here in another 10,000 miles, we're going to need to change the oil. So we'll just do a countdown from the 10,000. And as it gets to 2,000, we'll say, well, you got about 20% left. Or maybe just done by the date. We'll do it every 6 months regardless. Irrespective of how many miles are put on it. What's up, Captain Caveman? You've tuned in to your NBC Nightly Jews. Taking the N out of the news and replacing it with a J. Yeah, I think if there was ever a situation that seems to be accelerating much faster than I ever thought, was that whole conversation. And the legitimacy of funding Israel and whether or not we should continue to do so. Or more importantly, if what Israel is doing there in Gaza is actually what was done to them all those years ago. And why it is people can't see the similarities. Or are they just too scared to say the words out loud? But I do believe they are some of the, as a people group, they seem to be some of the most ardent accelerationists trying to get that temple built. Or whatever. They still
all about building that temple, baby.
They're still trying to find their savior.
I don't know what's going on with my phone.
I don't either.
Take a picture of an empty cooler.
Did you just say take a picture of an empty cooler?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a weird ass checklist you got.
Well, yeah, we have to have ice and water in our cooler every day. And I'm not team lead today, but on the thing we fill out, it still makes you take a picture to show that you have a cooler and yeah. I wrote, I don't have ice and water today because I'm not the team lead. Oh, really? See, because last week I was told you're not team lead, but I should have asked you.
Well, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going back to 212 Hollywood. Remember it? Where it's just me and you.
Oh, Hollywood, Zabala. Yeah, it's been a quiet time. Not much going on around here. Bunnies have all been good. Dogs have all been a pain in the ass, as per usual. Dixie's just now starting to get over her sickness properly. Luckily, it never really hit me too hard. So maybe I don't know. Everybody else in the house seemed really getting knocked down by it. Then again, I take quite a bit of vitamin C, so there's that. I suspect. Let's see what else is going on. I know I had some stuff that I'd thrown in the pile. Maybe not. Stingless bees in Amazon become some of the first insects to receive legal rights. Insects. Ooh. 100,000 watt iron beam laser becomes the world's first drone defense zapper to be operationally deployed, and it can also shoot down rockets, mortars, and other aerial threats. Yeah, I'm going to open that up. Only because it's probably I'll be able to show you maybe some of the stuff that I work ish. The iron beam laser. No Tom's Hardware.com. Yep, it's pretty similar to things that I work on. Mine are usually a bit smaller, kind of a self-contained unit, say bigger than a bread box. But because it can articulate up and...
We'll talk to y'all. We gotta do some shooting, Josh.
Yeah, we definitely need to. I'll go check into some of that Battlefield 6 and see if I can't get us a couple of nice cheap codes or something.
Yeah, we'll see what Walter, we can get him just his mind off stuff and on something else for a while.
Yeah.
All right. I love you all out there. You guys have a great weekend. Josh, I'll talk to you soon.
All righty, Zach. You have a very safe day. Have fun out there on Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. 212 Hollywood. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. But yeah, that's very similar to what I would be building. And because it articulates up and down and it spins around at least 180 degrees, usually 360, and it goes all those different directions for the tracking and stuff at the laser. Very similar. No, Callum, we are not a 30-second TikTok video. Good luck even finding a 30-second TikTok video of Iron Realm. Although, again, I keep telling myself I need to go through some of these old episodes and just start breaking them up. Not shorts per se, but clips. Clips at the very least. I don't need shorts. Make videos long form again. Make videos widescreen again. And a happy fucking new year to you as well, Regina. And I will say, full disclosure, 2026 has been a little harder to get motivated to come do this show. I don't know what it is. Because I sure love waking up with you guys 3 times a week. But it's hard. It's like there are no more new subscribers. We only lose them. So there's no balancing act. It's just almost every day, oh, look, there's now fewer subscribers. No notifications saying you have a new subscriber. Just declining numbers. And not that we do it for the views, but when you're getting less than 200 a show, it makes you wonder, is the juice worth the squeeze? For 3 times, I mean, maybe we do it once a week. Maybe 200 views once a week. I mean, ain't nothing, especially if the numbers are still declining, but it makes it hard. Waking up at 3 a.m. If you can remember to do it. So, again, sorry for Wednesday. Sorry for Monday's show, too. Monday's show was completely my fault. It cut off early. I just should have left things well enough alone. But for some reason, my laptop didn't have any internet. Like, I just couldn't get internet. Every time I tried to turn the airplane mode on the laptop, like, think it was on, so I'd flip the switch and it would say airplane mode off. Be like, sweet. So I'd go to try to check the internet and it's not getting in the internet. So I'd flip the airplane mode back the other way and it would say airplane mode off. It's like every position of the switch, either position of the switch would tell me that the airplane mode was off, but I could never actually receive internet. It was really weird. I thought, well, because my laptop uses the Wi-Fi, my desktop is hardwired in, I can just reset my router and it shouldn't affect the hardwire. Well, apparently my laptop was receiving 0 internet and my desktop had turned off the Ethernet cable and had switched to Wi-Fi and was only running on Wi-Fi. So when I went and reset the dang router, it killed the internet for my desktop. And that's why the show ended early on. Because I'm stupid. Aw, thanks, Regina. You know, what's that, where else am I brag? BitChute. BitChute is is the 3rd place we are streaming. We are on Rumble, we are on YouTube, and we are on BitChute. And right now, BitChute is the only one making us any money. I make about $0.10 a month on BitChute. Which is about 10 cents more than YouTube pays us. And the same goes for Rumble. Let's see if I can pull this up right quick. Look, see, I got paid 2 weeks ago. Look at how much we've earned so far. 7 cents. And the withdrawal threshold is $100, which means in about 35 years, I should be able to withdraw $100 from BitChute at this rate. And that's doing 2-hour shows 3 times a week. And there you go. That's my payment history. And even that doesn't seem right because I know I've gotten those messages before. Started in November. But whatever. It's whatever. It's 6 o'clock. I should probably get the hell out of here. Dawn, if it weren't for you guys, it would not be worth it at all. Like, it's only the chat interactions that make any of it even remotely worthwhile. It is certainly not monetary gain. It's just exhausting waking up at 3 a.m. every other day. And again, it would be different if we were growing. I dig that. That could motivate you to continue doing what you're doing and to find new things and try new stuff. But shit. I mean, shit. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I didn't have to round enough. That's what I was looking for. Thank you all. Regardless of what I say, we will be back here on Monday for more of the IRONWORX. Hopefully Walt will be able to join us. And we'll do a full catch-up. In the meantime, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Be good, be well, do good, do it well. We do love you. Bye-bye.